So after working for 8 months cleaning toilets in this hotel in Munich, I'd saved up enough money to buy a one-way ticket to Venezuela. And I decided I wanted to discover myself and go to South America and find myself. And I was never coming back to England. I was probably never coming back to Europe. I was going to find myself in South America. And I had another friend, English guy, who was a chambermaid too, and he was saving up money, and we decided that we would travel around South America together. We had the combined travel experience of a not very well travelled person from Baranja to go around the world. And we saved and saved and saved, and I was leaving 2 months earlier because I had a school friend from my posh boarding school who was from Guyana, which is a small country in South America.
Guyana, British
Guyana, yeah, in Georgetown. And so he said, come to Guyana, stay with me and my family for the summer, and then you go and do your travel with your friend. So I went out to, this is 1988, there's no email, there's no social media, there's no phones, there's nothing. The only way we could get in contact with each other was by postcard. And a postcard would take 3 weeks to get there from and so on like that. So we agreed that I would go to Georgetown, Guyana, for 2 months, stay with my friend Eddie, and then we were looking for a place to meet in South America that was practical, that we could both get to, and I was starting from Guyana. So we decided romantically to meet outside the famous opera house in Manaus, the capital of the Amazon.
Where's that?
Manaus, it's the biggest city in the Amazon, and it has this amazing opera house made out of rubber. And we agreed that we would meet on October the 1st at 1 o'clock. Because communications were impossible, and there may be some slight delays in the travel, we agreed to wait 4 days. So October the 1st at 1 o'clock, wait for an hour, and at 2 o'clock, if nobody came, they weren't coming that day. Come back the next day, wait for an hour, next day, third, next day, fourth. And if the other person hadn't arrived by 2 o'clock on the 4th of October, they weren't coming. And the most distressful moment of my life was 2 o'clock on October the 4th, 1989, when my friend didn't show. And I was suddenly 19 years old, completely inexperienced in travel, stuck in the heart of the Amazon with $2,700 in traveller's checks, if you remember what they are, and no idea what to do next. And I knew nobody on the whole continent, and I had really no idea, and I was panicking. And the idea of travelling with somebody was amazing. The travel to be on my own at 19 was really, really frightening. And so I didn't know what to do, so I went to the bus station, and the bus station, there was a Frenchman, and he was a shrimp farmer from French Guyana, and he was buying a ticket to a town called Riberalta, which I'd never heard of. And so as he bought his tickets, I said very loudly, "Riberalta, please." So he heard me, and he said, "Oh, you're going to Riberalta too?" I said, "Yes." And I'm only going there because he was going there, and he was somebody that I could kind of connect with. And so he said, why are you going to Riberalta? I said, "It's a beautiful place, isn't it?" And he said, "No, it's a total shithole." And I was like, "Well, why are you going to Riberalta?" He said, "Well, because for the Brazil nut factory." And I said, "Okay, explain to me." And he said, "The only way to get from the Amazon to La Paz, which is 3,600 meters above sea level, is to go to this Brazil nut factory where they send these trucks for export along this road that in parts doesn't even exist on the map. And then you go up through, the Amazon, and then you go up into the Andes along this super scary road where the mountain is like this, and you've got like this, you see crosses at the side of the road, and it goes down like this. And if you're a traveller, you can get there if you buy a ticket for $25 we paid, and for that you got a place on top of the truck. So boxes and boxes and boxes of Brazil nuts, and they're pretty hard, and then you got a place on top of that. No real safety, nothing really to hang on to. There were 15 of us on top of the truck. One of them died on the way. and it was supposed to take 3
Wait,
days.
how did he die? You can't just drop that.
Pay attention, see?
There's always somebody looking for details. He was sick. They were trying to take him to hospital, and he passed
He
away.
didn't fall off.
Yeah, well, we pushed him off because he was like, he was taking up space.
But most of the people fall down.
And
Well,
so,
enough fuel. Stop.
huh?
There wasn't enough fuel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like the balloon debate, isn't it? So that was like, it was supposed to take 3 days. It took us 6 days. And we were stuck for like, some other truck had fallen over, so we had to help unload all the cargo to push that truck back up. There was a flood for a bit. And then we start going up into the Amazon, and I'm terrified of heights. I'm really, really scared of heights. And you can imagine that you've got this, you're on top of this truck, you've got this, it's frightening. But then when you go around the corner, all you see is just nothingness. You've got nothing to hold on to even here. It was the most terrifying trip I've ever done in my life. But eventually, after 6 days, we came to La Paz, and I was really proud of myself because I've got pink skin, as you see, and I've never ever gone brown. But after 6 days, I had this very, very light sort of brown skin, and I was like, this is beautiful, you know? And then I went for a shower, because I hadn't washed for 6 days, and then I just, underneath it was just beautiful white skin.